Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is a scene for Empire of Thorns. A child has been abducted by the True Fae in Paris, and the Cordelie, the court of Paris, has begged the Empire of Thorns to help in his recovery. This comes dovetailed into the fact that the curse that is affecting the family of this child that led to him being taken is something that Cordelie is attempting, well, parts of the Cordelie, the La Resistance and the revolutionary members of the Renaud family are trying to break this curse. It is a contract that was writ in 1666 by Remy Renaud, and it was done in trade with the True Fae Balthazar, that every other child in the Renaud family would be sent to Fairy to be shaped in wards of the Fae, and be sent back as loyalists. And Jean-Luc and Maurice Renaud decided enough was enough and they wanted to break the curse. But Alexander Renaud, the youngest son of Emile Renaud, was taken by the Fae. This isn't how things work normally. Usually the children are sent before their 16th birthday. And the courts have gathered to figure out what to do. What can be done to, one, rescue this child, and two, to break this curse gripping this family, and in tearing apart the Cordelie between loyalists and the La Resistance. So, this is where our scene is set. The contract itself, a piece of paper dating back to 1666, penned by the Ashen Notary of the Autumn Court for a legate member of Black Apple by the name of Remy Renaud. It's the item in question right now. This item, this thing, is a type of thing that has survived through generations, through countries, through empires even. It's been in the care and passed down from Renaud to Renaud. Right now it's in the possession of Emile Renaud. And the Lord William Star Eyes, the Ashen Notary of the Autumn Court, has been asked to overlook the contract, the document. It can't be done without the permission of the Queen of the Autumn Court. So, Cerise, the Queen of the Winter Court, the ruling court at the moment, will look to Queen Mir to see if her Ashen Notary can be given permission to peruse this contract.
Mir is looking at the Ashen Notary and expectantly, ready for him to proceed.
This meeting is taking place at Trudeau's, so that all neutral ground can be covered, because there are so many different courts in presence and attendance. It has been shut down heavy. Before we proceed much further, why don't we give a quick description of who's what and where and doing what, starting off with Tim. What's Soren doing?
Soren is... He's obviously not even trying to crowd among the nobles or the titled people in this whole affair. He's off a respectful distance away, but he is taking... He is paying very, very delicate attention and taking very copious notes. He actually has a notebook out and stuff, if he is allowed to take notes.
Mm-hmm. He is. And what about Next, what is he doing?
I'm holding up a wall, just watching the courts um, talk to each other, interact, seeing how they socialize.
Okay. And Pearl?
Pearl probably would be standing near Lucas since she only knows like 3 people here.
Okay. And Kim?
Kim will be standing. Is Andreas here?
Yep.
Kim is standing next to Andreas and looking freshly dressed and just kind of going by his lead.
Okay. Andreas, she would notice, by the way, although very nicely dressed and prepared to receive royalty, he has a few bruises about his face. She noticed he has, like, his cheek is a very deep purple.
Chill. Now's not the time for that.
Yeah, not the time to ask, but she does notice he looks as though he's been in a scuffle. Iris. Is Iris awake? I imagine Iris is sitting near Tam. So, the Ashen Notary will turn and look to a man that no one here has seen before. And it is Emil.
And Emil will stand up and appropriately bow his head to the nobility. For those that weren't aware, he looks like a chubby version of Maurice. They are the same height. They are identical twins, although not currently identical because of the state of Emil. And their eyes are different colors, which is something very odd in identical twins. Emil's eyes are a gray blue, where Maurice's are a more silver green. And he will reach into his bag and he will pull out a tube containing the aforementioned document. And he will look to the nobility, again, nod, and hand the tube to William Starr.
He holds his hand out to this thing with like 2 hands and takes it as though he's just been handed a baby. He'll let the Lord Scrivener bask in its glory for a moment. He'll pull out from his pocket 2 cotton gloves and slip them onto his hands. There's a cotton cloth draped across the table, and he'll crack open the leather of this tube, basically. It's been so long since it's been opened, it literally pops. And he'll gently kind of shimmy the lid off and carefully kind of tilt the tube as a scroll, but a very, very beautifully crafted scroll slides into his hand. It's actually fairly large. And he'll set it onto the table and very carefully unroll it. Although it does have an air of antiquity about it, it still looks very sturdy. And there's very small writing on it. And it's one of those things that as he opens and unrolls it, power waves off of it. It's you can feel the almost a poignancy in the air. And he'll basically get it flat and opened and unscrolled and right, and he'll stop. He'll pull his hands back and make sure everything's perfect. I imagine Soren's over there like having a fucking like fit.
You know that heavy breathing gif of the cat?
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
So no. He'll stop and he'll basically pull he'll pull a small tool out, basically like it almost looks like a ruler, but a very lightweight one. And he'll put it on the top line. And he'll close, like he'll stop, and he'll read it. And you see this tool slide down the page as he's muttering the words to himself gently, getting a feel for them, carrying the weight of the words. As he speaks them, it's almost as though the power of the words is washing over the room. You notice that Jean-Luc Renard, the king of the French Autumn Court, shudders, actually. He kind of shakes and kind of pulls in a little bit, as do the other Renards. But he'll keep reading. And then he'll look up. Although quite wordy, it's actually rather simple. The deal that was struck is... Dante, can you not type so hard? The deal that was struck is one that leaves very little room for interpretation. For the safety and ensured power structure of the Renard family, one child, each generation and each line must be sacrificed to the tutelage of the faith. One can substitute themselves and volunteer for the other. He'll look over it. In return, your family's power is cemented. There was to be no interference in this contract. Breaking oaths and bonds and tokens. Tell me, Maurice Renard. Let me let her put the overlay up. Doopy-doopy-doo.
And when he calls his name, Maurice will step forward.
Did you attempt to sever this contract?
He'll nod.
Then you are the guilty party, as per the contract. And the clause on severance is that all children of your line are forfeit.
I went, though.
And again, what'd you say?
He said, but I went, though.
You did. But I believe that you, the presence of Rainier Renard, Jean-Luc, separating and trying to break the bonds of the contract, have activated the severance clause. And seeing that Alexander Renard is the youngest, that is why he has been taken. For the contract, there is nothing to do. And all children born of your line now belong to the Fae. Any child claimed by your line, any child born to your line, are property of the fair folk of Arcadia.
But that's my line. That's not theirs.
He'll shake his head. It doesn't matter. It is the line of Renard. I'm sorry. He'll say apologetically. Unless this contract is broken, unless it's at its core unwoven and unraveled, he'll shake his head.
Is there nothing we can do?
He'll look over at actually Mir, because she is the Yadam Queen, and they deal the most with this kind of shit.
Mir is standing there looking kind of troubled and looking like she's trying to think of something to do. Actually, hang on a second, sorry. Juan is the first one to say something. He'll step forward and say, well, if the contract must be severed, then let it be severed in the most literal way possible. We will draw forth this beast, this thing with which your ancestors dealt, and we will teach it a lesson, and exercising... Sorry, out of game, I'm having trouble thinking of the words. We'll teach it a lesson in holding people to contracts they never signed.
If I follow you correctly, Your Majesty, your proposal is to rouse out one of the true Fae for us to face it.
Better to face it in the open than to let it keep taking children.
William seems as though he's ambivalent to it, but that will send some murmurs across. Some people are like, yeah, duh, let's go. And then others are basically like, no. What? You cray. Boss, you cray.
And Maurice will look to Mir again.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if she has any input.
Mir is still standing there, kind of chewing her lip, thinking. Hang on a second. And
Will give her shoulder a soft squeeze.
she'll say, perhaps it is too dangerous for us to fight one of the Fae, as His Majesty the Summer King advocates. But he does strike on something. This contract was not executed with you, Maurice, or you, any of you present Renauds. Was there ever a time limit set to it?
And Maurice will look to William Stareyes, who has the physical document.
He'll pass that ruler down. It was to last as long as the Renard legacy lasted. This is a generational contract.
If it is said that this legacy is this same legacy of sending children to the Fae, then it can be said that that legacy has ended.
He'll lick his lips. Sam, I PM'd you, by the way. I'm sorry, not the Lord Scrivener. William Stareyes will look over the document again, and he'll look up at her, and he gives her a sad look with a shake of his head, like he doesn't think it's that simple.
Lost lore now. Out of character.
Yes, again.
Four.
Okay.
What are we rolling, hon?
It was something that really only Tim could roll because of information he gained last time I played with him.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
I fucking thought of that same shit. Out of
Okay.
character.
There you go. Well, say something then, because if you want
Alright,
to,
cool.
you might want to throw that out.
Soren is just gonna kind of place his hand on the table, not be very loud about it. And
Yeah,
he's just gonna
Shinoda
kind
will
of.
look over to him.
Okay. I assume he does not have to wait very long to be acknowledged, and he'll say, "This may be a stupid question, my lord, and I apologize in advance for it, but is the contract dependent on the Renard blood or the Renard name?"
He'll furrow his brow and he'll look back at the contract and look over it. Clear your dice, by the way. And, sorry. His brows will actually go up. Maurice,
Yes.
your niece Josephine,
Yes.
please call her.
He'll flip open his phone and dial it.
You can voice her, it's fine.
Yep.
He'll introduce himself when she answers. He'll just say that his name is William Star Eyes. My dear, I have a question for you. It's very important.
What is it?
Your son, Gage,
Yes.
how is he?
And she'll look across the table. He's fine. He's eating his supper.
Tell me something, dear. He's kind of looking over the family tree again. When you wed, what did you do with your last name?
Well, I kept my last name. It's family tradition.
Hold on, I forgot to type something to her, guys. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. Stepping back. Well, I took my husband's name.
Your husband, Oliver Adro, and so therefore your son is Gage Adro, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
And your son is with you, and he is, I think, 8 by the papers I see.
Yes.
Thank you, miss. That is all. Enjoy your dinner, please. And he'll nod at Maurice and say that he can hang up.
And he'll say goodbye and hang up.
If all children of the Renaud line are forfeit, but Gage Adro has not been taken. The curse is in the name. He'll look back at Soren.
Then, do you think it could be possible for those Renards to perhaps alter their name so that way they do not bear the curse anymore?
He'll look to Maurice and Emil.
Maurice will speak. If that's all it takes, then of course.
Soren will just kind of keep his hand up because he doesn't want to interrupt William.
Yeah, he'll look to see if anybody else wants to speak, and then he'll look back to Soren.
The only possible issue that I see with this, and it may be just me or it may be an oversight, but the only issue may be those that have been taken already. Those true Fae that have abducted those Renards may not respect this change in the deal, as it were.
Well, there are penalties on their end for breaking the contract as well, are there not?
William looks as though he's going to speak. I believe for the Renards, who are already taken, it will not extend to them. I believe this will release the severance on those that come. You will still have to rescue. those that have died. He'll look over the paper and he'll say, I think the only Renard right now other than Alexander who's missing is Nadia and Zoe.
They are.
No, I'm sorry. My information is wrong. Zoe has returned. I'll look at her. And
Nadia
I'll make it.
is still there.
Well, now that we have a proposed solution for the contract, what are we going to do about the child?
Kim will raise her hand and wait until she's,
He'll acknowledge her.
well, be obviously a few of us, because it would be pretty not wise to go by yourself to rescue someone, but a party needs to go and rescue them. And along with that, there needs to be a time of careful study of what magic may be utilized past the hedge. Being able to understand it would probably be half the battle. She'll just stop talking.
Hand goes up. Draven will actually clear. So, can I just point out that going into Arcadia is a suicide mission? Like, just point it out. Not that I have any trouble saving your line over there. We'll kind of point at Maurice. But I don't think there's a damn soul in here that can charge into Arcadia and actually come back out.
Kim will politely raise her hand again.
Actually, he's not soccer.
Yeah, Soren's raising his hand too, but out of character, default to Kim.
Yeah, Cam, go ahead. You got the floor.
With all due respect, Onyx Thane, Draven Delivered, our court teaches us not to be slaves of our fear, but to master it. So if we must go in there to take them back, and I can only speak for myself, but this is what the courts stand for, to help and to protect and to save. I'll go.
Soren.
And I'll say, going into Arcadia is a dangerous venture. I'm not going to lie to you. That being said, it has been done before. It is incredibly difficult, but if we have the right people, the right setup, the right team, and a little luck, we can do it.
Kim will give Soren a wink.
Claudio Donadio will clear his throat out. And he'll say, this assumes he's been taken into Arcadia already. The journey is far. It's not... It can take... As often as we think that it can take the blink of an eye to travel and traverse the hedge to get to Arcadia, it actually usually takes a few days or weeks to get to Fair itself. So if he's been recently taken, these 2 days? Looking at Maurice.
Yeah, he'll nod.
Then it's likely he hasn't made it to Arcadia yet.
Kim will raise her hand again.
He'll look at her.
If that's the case, then perhaps it might be able, with a little bit of preparation. I do know that there are ways to navigate the hedge, shortcuts, passages that we could possibly intercept and do a rescue mission, but this would be an interesting endeavor.
Is there anyone here who's adept at hedge navigation?
Mir will say, there are those within my court who make it their business to know the ways of the hedge. I will be more than happy to see that they are made available.
He'll nod. That would do well.
Kim will raise her hand one more time.
Go ahead.
What is the name of this true fair?
Balthazar.
Thank you.
The king of the Autumn Court in Paris will look at Mir, and he'll softly say to her for her offer, merci.
He nods.
He looks very sad right now. He's basically just kind of looking down at the floor. He'll look to Soren, and he'll say in a French accent, so if I understand you correctly, if we change our last name and embrace a new last name, this will stop this curse on our family.
I believe so, Your Majesty.
What if we do change our name too? He'll turn to Maurice like, we're Renaud's, what the fuck?
That will be a family discussion, I suppose.
But really, Maurice, is that something that needs to be done? It's our line.
But if that's all it's going to take to keep the children safe,
He'll look back at Soren.
If I may offer a piece of advice, Your Majesty,
We?
it is not the name Renard that inspires nobility. It is the blood that your family has. No matter what name you go by, you will have the same air, you will have the same power, you will have the same identity.
What will happen if my aunt does not? agree to this.
All due respect, Your Majesty. I think a last name change is worth children's lives. Get her to see that.
He'll say something in French to Maurice, sounding a bit desperate. You get the hint that he's basically saying to Maurice to explain that you're not understanding.
That I'm not? Okay.
Yeah.
No,
He's looking at Maurice as though, like, I can't explain it. I don't know enough English. You have to explain it for me.
his concern. My father's daughter is not welcoming of the thoughts of revolution that my nephew and I share.
You see him getting upset.
She willingly gives all of her children.
Soren's not going to say anything to that because he doesn't want to die right now. Would everyone like to know what he's thinking?
We're all
You can probably say it because they're fucking ready to kill her, so.
Soren he looks very carefully between both of the Renards in here, and he's going to say, Your Majesties, do I have your permission to speak entirely freely and frankly?
He'll look at Maurice as though he needs that one explained to him a little bit.
And he'll translate.
He wants to understand why you said frankly, because he doesn't think you're about to start talking French, so he's confused.
Oh.
Sorry. But he'll nod at you. Oui, tell me.
This very
We call her the bitch, but
the point that we're at now, Your Majesties, that's coming dangerously close, and I think very many people may go further, but dangerously close to what some would consider to be the demeanor of a loyalist.
He'll point at him, like point that. And that's a loyalist. He'll turn to him and like, Maurice, say it. Like,
we know that that's what she is, Soren.
He just kind of blinks. And again, like it seems like he wants to say something brutally honest again, but he's not saying it because he doesn't want to die.
yeah, he's saying things to Maurice in French. But William will actually respectfully, like, he is getting fucking angry. So William is going to clear his throat softly and say, basically, kind of take him down a notch or two by saying something in French. If anyone knows French, he'll basically, what he says to him is that he might want to tone it down before the Summer King considers it a threat to his position and takes it as a challenge. That he's his wrath. Yes, he told a joke. But he'll say, he'll turn to Soren, William Star Eyes, so you fucking understand. And he'll say, the king of the Spring Court in La Cordelier and the queen of the Winter Court are known loyalists.
The Summer King, speaking of, clear his throat, and he says, we here in the Empire of Thorns know how to handle loyalists.
Soren's not saying it, but I think everyone that knows Soren even half a bit, including Maurice, he kind of has this face of, I can, like, start killing people if you want. Like, I don't want to
Draven, when he says that, by the way, when the Summer King says that, I love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Draven will across the room say, "Why don't you ask Kairush about that?"
Damn!
Dead fucking serious. He's not being a bitch. Across the room, he says, "Why don't you ask Kairush about that?"
I back the fuck up.
Yeah, no, Soren's kind of giving everybody a wide berth right now.
Earl like tugs on Lucas's sleeve and is like, "Who's Kyrie?"
No, if you tug on Lucas's sleeve, he shields you.
Yeah, the Summer King, his fire springs up to wreathe his shoulders, and he begins walking towards Draven.
Mm-hmm. He'll get up, kind of.
And once he gets closer, he'll say, "Do I really have to address to you how inappropriate it is for one of your place to speak to me, a monarch of the court, in such way?"
He'll he's got one of his own kind of like pulling him back, like, "Oh, buddy, please don't." Give me a second. Love you too, boo boo. He's gonna say to him, he's like, "When you start acting like a monarch, I'll treat you like one."
Kim will look towards Queen Mare. We should probably stop this. Like in the pleading sort of look.
Mir looks at Kim and then looks significantly at shit, what's her name? Cerise.
Really, you want this bitch to do something?
There's literally a bigger threat right here that's happening right now, not a dick waving contest.
Okay. Cerise looks like she's a million fucking miles away, but then she'll kind of look at them both. She'll turn back, and she'll look at Draven significantly, and she'll just kind of curl her lip at him, almost a sneer, and she'll say, "Step down. You disappoint me," to Draven. And she'll like kind of toss her head behind, like, "Get behind me." And he'll kind of snort, and he'll say no. She'll say, "No, wait. Apologize first." And you can almost hear the casters in his eyes roll. He'll look at the king and he'll give him a bow. And he'll say, "I apologize, Your Majesty."
The king nods. He doesn't say anything.
I'll sit down behind her. William Star Eyes. Until that shit settles down. Will first off he'll look at the king
Okay.
and he'll say, "I apologize for slight on your station, my lord."
The king nods again. The flames are looking a little bit lower about his shoulders.
Though I do believe that there was a point that Master DeRaven had that must be paid mind to. That we cannot rush into this situation without great consideration. We have lost those of impressive station to the Loyalists in this city recently. He gives the king a sympathetic look. But I think the target of tonight's purpose is Alexander and I. What can be done to help him? Who is going to step forward?
Kim will step forward.
Soren steps forward. No hesitation.
Forward.
No hesitation.
What's Mo doing?
Maurice looks to Ferran.
Ron will nod at him.
And then he'll step forward.
Add a character note, Johnny, I'm actually not sure what Pearl would even be able to do.
Cult rolls will be godly
Rolls.
in
Yeah,
that arc.
You just want to see me out nerd you more.
No, we just don't want to be lost in the hedge there. It's a slight difference.
Like, no, really.
Okay, Pearl will step forward and she'll pull Lucas forward as she steps forward.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I was noticing. He'll kind of startle and then he'll like shrug. My motley mate's going. Why not? He'll kind of fist bump Maurice. Like,
Yeah.
look, I'm coming too.
Hey!
Hey.
When he says that, Pearl will mutter, "Not till this is handled."
He gets a significant look on his face. Star Eyes will roll his eyes. So, I don't know if Iris is still sleeping or not.
I think she's fallen asleep.
Aw.
Yeah,
We
it's
can say-
ridiculously late for her.
we can say she. Nope.
Don't do that.
It's like 4:15.
Does Iris step forward?
Sorry, I missed the bit about what they were stepping forward for.
Go save that kid.
Well, to help, yeah. If they're talking about stepping forward to go, not so much. If they're talking about stepping forward to help, yeah.
They won't be going tonight or any time in the next day. They have to gather intel on it. So
No, I would mean in general, in that she's going to be somewhat busy, not traipsing through the hedge. But yeah.
Yeah, she does have other things on her agenda in the next couple days.
Yeah, she's expecting to give birth tomorrow, so
Do it in the hedge, don't matter.
Yeah, right.
Full ham.
Does your character look as though she's hesitating and like waffling it over?
quite possibly, yeah.
Okay. Claudio will step forward then. And he'll say, I believe there's going to be a few days, at least 2 or 3, in which intelligence is going to have to be gathered on this mission. I know that he'll kind of look at her stomach and say, I know that that's concerning you, but healing is something that is completely available to you, and the effects of childbirth can be, well, the aftercare can be hastened within a moment. If you want to go, I'm staying behind. I can watch them. And feeding them and taking care of them won't be a problem. Between Liam and I, it'll be fine.
She's still gonna look a bit uncertain, to be fair, but I think she's gonna go with kind of verbally saying, I want to help, more than she wants to go. If you see what I mean.
Okay. So, William will pull out a quill and a piece of blank paper, and he's going to scribble on it. He's going to write on it. And he's going to say, for those that are allying themselves with this mission, I'm writing you a simple pledge. You will aid each other and not harm each other. Work to the best of your ability to bring this child back.
Out of character, is he asking us that, or is he waiting for a response?
He's waiting for a response. If you guys enter into a pledge together for this encounter, for this endeavor, it'll only last for as long as you're on this mission. But if you do that, depending on the level that you agree on right now, it can give you like merits and stuff to help with this. That's why he's doing it.
I accept.
Yep,
I
pledge.
accept.
So
Yeah.
he's like, let's do it.
Appreciate it, guys.
Pearl will look at the only other person she's made a pledge with so far and see if he accepts first.
He nods.
She'll accept then.
Maurice is the last one.
And Maurice will nod.
Okay. He'll write out a very simple Anthony, what's it called? The one where like an accord, right? Like where you
Yeah, it's a pledge of
Yeah.
accord.
Yeah,
Based
he's
on
writing
the
The
number,
shared burden.
it's based on the number of people that actually do it. Like, say, if we all like invest for glamour, it's a pretty damn powerful one.
Yeah. Now the length of it and the merits that you get therein of are only going to last as long as this mission does. When it stops, they're going to go away. That's how long he's crafting it for. So get together and choose wisely, like in the group chat, what you want the bonus to be. Lucas has no input, by the way. He's gonna go with whatever you get.
What kind of bonus can we pick? Like it's.
I believe that's a 4-point merit, right?
It depends on how many people actually,
Hold on.
said yes.
Okay, one. Are you saying yes, Maurice?
Yep.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Dante. Will one of the head striders step forward?
One of the what?
The head.
Yes,
March
yes.
Yeah.
And also the Hunter of the Longest Day.
Okay, so they'll throw in too.
Yep.
Okay. Then it's ridiculous.
That's 8. That's 8 people.
It's ridiculous at this point.
It's ridiculous.
Why would it be? Because what you get out is equal to what you put in. So all these people put in, but everyone gets the same thing out.
Yeah, it's like 8 points worth of stuff.
That's like 8 point stuff worth of stuff. Like,
yeah.
Hey, if you want to be OP, you could say you get +4 to any roll that involves your character concept.
Oh my God, no.
That would be. That's actually. Yeah.
You guys can
over there, check the Ripper.
That
you
actually
guys
makes.
you
we
guys
all have at least,
huh?
Can we agree that a Fey Mountain would be a good idea for all of us to have at least a 1 dot in?
Oh, what now?
We'll hammer out the details of exactly what goes into it. But it's 8 points that are all going to have to like be the same. Okay, it doesn't have to be the same thing, but you're all going to get it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the number of people is the number of people that it needs to be divided by anyway, isn't it?
No.
We should probably let's hammer out the pledge after the scene ends. Because we could just get hooked up on semantics for right now.
No.
And Deb, no, actually you get, like, everybody gets the same amount of what goes in. It's really good.
That's why William's doing this.
That's why, like, if everybody in the court said yes, then it's like, oh my God, like.
Double everything. Whatever your dice pool is, double that shit.
Just about.
So yeah, William will draft out the pledge and write it out, and he'll actually pass it over to the Lord Scrivener to read it to make sure it was fine.
He'll agree to it.
Okay. He'll place it. He'll slide it across the table with his pen for people to sign.
Signs it.
We have a card.
Johnny, it's up to you since, like, a lot of the important monarchs are there. I did get a negative at the start of the scene, so.
Yeah. Mir, do me a favor. Actually, Mir and Juan can do this. Make me rolls. Make me rolls from their wits composure.
Oy vey.
You said you rolled negative, right?
Negative.
There's Mir. Oh, yikes.
Ooh, poor little Mir.
She failed.
Ooh, hey girl. I'll tell you this much, if Juan notices this over fucking Mir, I'm gonna laugh my ass off, like, really badly.
He did.
Juan notices as Kim basically steps forward to sign this contract.
Uh-huh.
There is you mixed them up, by the way, sweetie. There is an air of death hanging on her, a very strong one. It's twisting and shaping the weird around her. You notice that when she touches things, especially if she's near, there's like a potted plant that she's standing nearby, and you can see that on the side that she's standing on that it's wilting, and kind of the leaves are drooping, and yes, by the way, Soren. You notice that whenever she's standing kind of near Andreas, like he just, it doesn't even seem like something he's really noticing, but you notice that his eyes kind of droop a little bit, and he kind of
yawns a little more when she's around. And just
Huh.
looks a little more drained and gray.
Okay.
So, Ferran noticed it too, by the way. But he's just kind of like, okay. Oh, what the fuck am I saying? Oh my god, no. Actually, if you get anywhere near Ferran,
Hmm.
he pulls back away from you and, like, kind of looks at you like, bad? No.
Hmm.
Like, he is actively, like, trying to avoid you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Anyone can roll to notice that, by the way. If you want to roll a wit's empathy, you can roll to
Yes, I
notice
would.
that.
I'd like to do something this scene.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's like 3 things, bitch. Shut up.
Was it what's empathy or what's composure? I'm sorry. I rolled what's composure.
It's wit's empathy. It's not that hard to notice, but
Considering I ended up sleeping through like half the scene.
One
you
success.
okay.
Did you say composure or empathy?
Empathy.
I think a lot of people noticed this.
Okay. Yeah, Ferran is when Kim nears Ferran at one point, you literally see him kind of wince and like yelp in pain almost and just pull back from her instinctually. He's in human too. He's not even in his wolf form.
Mm.
And he kind of skirts to get away from her. It looks very much as though, you know, when something happens to someone so quick they kind of don't really register what's going on, they're just reacting.
Yeah.
That's his reaction. He kind of pulls away, and he'll actually go over to Maurice and kind of tuck his head under to his shoulder and kind of nuzzle him, like shaking very hard.
Oh, poor Farron.
He'll stroke his hair. What is it?
Did
He'll
Timmy
shake
fall
his
down
head.
the well?
Yeah, he'll shake his head and he'll say, I don't know. I just felt like all of my energy was being pulled off of me for a moment. And he'll kind of go and like, this is gonna sound really fucking strange. Juan,
Uh-huh.
he actually goes and sits next to him.
Okay.
Like the Spring King all but almost gets in his space.
Well, Huron isn't going to be okay with him like getting too much up in his space, but you know.
You just caused everybody in this group to ship them, by the way. Congratulations.
Oh,
Um,
question. This thing that Kim gives off, it's of death?
Yes, specifically it is a death. With your arts, you can tell that.
Can Soren activate some shade and spirit at some
What does that
point?
do again?
It lets him see ghosts?
It wouldn't. If you can activate it, that doesn't pick up anything.
Okay.
So, with the contract all signed up and everything on that end taken care of, he'll. I'm gonna say, by the way, that if Sebastian wanted to get on it and sign it, that he did. Because I know Nene can't be here right now. So, or if any of the other PCs were here in game and they want to sign in on it, that's fine. But so he'll basically, he'll look at the group of you, and he'll roll the pledge up. He'll roll up the contract, the Renaud contract, and hand it, like, put it back in the tube and hand it back to Emil.
Okay.
And he'll say, while we are all present, does anyone have anything else that they would like to announce or bring to the present of the monarchs? Aside from this. Ferran does look like he wants to say something, but he's letting everybody else maybe possibly say something first. Basically, it's announcement hour. With everyone here.
Maurice looks to the group. He's got nothing.
Okay. Good. Ferran is going to kind of uncurl himself from around the no, God no. From around the Summer King, and he'll step up and clear his throat, and he'll say, "I've claimed Iris," and he'll kind of look over at Iris and like point at her, "as my ward. If anyone should take quarrel with her, they're to come to me. If anyone strikes at her, I will consider it a strike against myself. But if she slights you, bring that to me as well." And he'll look around, see if anybody can test it.
To be fair, there's nothing any of us could say to that.
Did you say that in or out of game? Oh lord.
No, like I'm just saying, there's like nothing anyone can say to that.
Oh, okay.
It's just a fact.
He will. He'll nod and he'll sit down. Now is not a bad time. Out again.
I've only been here for a short while. Next Regis, was wondering if there was anyone that could tutor me in any combat skills or any crafting skills.
Did he just say crafting?
I did.
Okay, I was just checking on that because you were very quiet there. But as soon as you say crafting skills, Iris is just going to light up a little bit.
What is it that you need?
I have a concept for a weapon I wish to create, and really help to be able to make it with my own hands.
May we ask what kind of weapon?
They're dual range shot gauntlets. They're equipped to my wrists, and I can shift them into battle form, and with the force from my attacks, I can send shots out from them, depending on short range or long range. Short range or more burst type, long range or more accurate.
Well,
Is that from Ruby?
That's actually Ember Celica, Yang Xiaolong.
Yup. That's what I thought. Nice.
well, I don't know a lot about weaponry, but if you need help with crafting anything, I generally I'd be happy to help.
I appreciate it. Crafting the design for it, first of all, would be where I would need to start.
Actually, Johnny,
Yes, love.
roll me. Is it ins or wits?
Wits.
Roll me 11 dice.
There's your 11 dice, taking me filthy whore.
8 explode and 9 explode on me.
Oh lord. Oh lord. Okay, girl, you got 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Kim will sketch something out as you're describing it, and she'll hand it to you. You mean something like this?
It's a rough sketch, but he captured the idea of what you want.
what I'm going to need from you is conceptually what type of ammunition and what type of things you would need for this weapon you want to make.
Definitely, I will get get the information and then make sure I get it to you as soon as possible.
Oh, gee, I have no idea what you just told me.
Yeah, dude, you trailed off real bad.
That's okay, my bad. The short range blasts, I feel it would be best to go with shotgun shells. The long range, I'm still trying to work out what would be effective.
Well, here's the thing about that. As she looks at you, sort of quizzically,
Hmm.
uh,
As Anthony
And
dropped
Anthony
out.
fell.
Bye, Anthony! Let's give him a second to get back.
Do you mind if a little bit of side conversation as he comes back?
Oh, what?
Soren's going to look at Nex and he's just going to say, I have just started partaking of the entertainment conglomerate known as the Rooster Teeth.
Oh God.
I look over at him, my
well,
eyes
damn, I'm
widen.
sorry.
Is that so?
Did you get my message, by the way, Anthony?
What was your message?
Fuck you, it's on Facebook.
Okay, gotcha. She'll look and say, well, conceptually, do you expect this to work in the hedge or not at all?
I do. I would prefer that it works in all realms that I travel.
She'll kind of like tilt her head and kind of bite her thumb. You would probably need something. Ammunition will probably be a big concern. Maybe you could try the pits of goblin fruit. They're quite tough and could be the thing that you need. And they're
Okay.
quite abundant.
Either that or you work additional materials into making of the ammunition.
Okay. I could work on that.
Well, I mean, I've made armor before, but I haven't really made ammunition, so I'm not sure what would go into it. But something to do with pain or fear, I'd guess. I'd have to look into it.
Okay, I'll do my
You would
research on.
probably. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I'll be doing research on all firearm types, mostly revolvers, the kind of gears that they need, just so that the gauntlets have more ammo to them.
Kim will turn to Queen Mir. By your permission, my lady, since this is being made for the rescue mission to save the child, would it be okay if we use the archives of the Autumn Court?
Yeah. What is he doing?
And
She
Kim
says,
will.
yeah.
Okay. Kim will also look towards Draven, and
I'll look over.
would you be interested in helping?
He'll gasp and cover his heart. I
She'll
thought
smile
you'd never
playfully.
ask.
Would it be okay if the knowledge from your archives be used? This seems like a very complicated device.
He'll jump over and look over it. And he'll look up at Nex like, you the fuck. And he's like, you know, by this design, if you use like a bullet, like a bullet, you're gonna shatter your wrist.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, you don't want to use that.
I mean, you're gonna shatter your wrist. I'm just letting you know that. You got to use some sort of a force-generated bullshit thing. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
That.
Physics doesn't work that way. I
Nope.
got you.
Not at all. And I mean, I know we're looking at a motherfucker. He kind of points over at Faran. He can turn into like a fucking wolf. It's as big as a draft horse, and physics out the window. But there's some measure of physics still at play here.
Those things can be bent or broken. Don't worry too much about them.
God, I kind of love you a little bit. He'll walk away. Go sit back down behind the queen. He'll look over at Nex and he'll put his like fingers like by doing the telephone thing. He'll tell me call me.
Alright.
He's a weaponsmith. He just didn't want
Also, based
Okay,
on
Al.
like, also based on the archive that either the Autumn and the Winter Court, that's like 10 extra dice, and it doesn't have to be the same person that does the research rolls. So, the more information we get, the easier it is.
Okay, I'll look for how do I put it? I'll look for the schematics for it, see if I can find those somewhere. And this way, you have a better idea of what you're working with.
Actually, Kim will turn to Pearl and Soren. Would you be interested in helping me? You're kind of really better at looking up information than I am.
We
Pearl
gotcha.
kind of gets bouncy like a schoolgirl almost. You can tell Farron and her have been hanging out. And she's like, yes, I would love to. I love reading and learning things.
Good. She will smile back at Nyx. Glad to help.
Is there anything else you wish to learn from us?
At present, this is the only thing I could think of, only means to help us get through the hedge in this trial.
Well, but in general, you have our attention now. Is there anything else you'd need?
Kim will politely raise her hand.
Of course, dear. What do you need?
She'll smile at him. But you always have what I need. She just smiles. But seriously, would it be possible if we could have use of your archives for the purposes of this? With an escort, of course.
He'll look at Faran.
He'll look at Liam, and he's like, why he looked over at Liam, God only knows.
I think he was just following the crowd, and it's okay. We accept it.
No, Liam's confused why he looked at Liam. He's literally like, what did I... He kind of looks back at the king like... and then he
Kim
looks
will
around
nod
like, what the fuck?
She'll like nod expectantly at the king. You're supposed to say something.
Actually, at this point, Pearl is going to stand up and motion Liam to go to the side with her, and she goes, I need to talk to you real quick for a moment, Mr. Liam.
Yeah, everybody in this room is looking at me right now, so what do you have to say? Because
I figured out something of how you...
He covers her mouth so fast. He'll tuck her head under his fucking arm, and he'll look back at the king like... And the king will look and he'll tilt his head, and he said they said they needed an escort. And he goes fucking scarlet.
No, it's not his fault. I saw the information. I just... She's like pulling his hand away. I just want to apologize for what she did to you.
She's gonna put you to sleep if you don't stop. My king, I don't think I'm the kind of escort they were talking about. Just fuck.
Speaking of which, I don't know where your hands have been. I'll shut up. Please get them off me.
I'll take his hands off of her and push her away. Back to Lucas. Like, put her back on her leash. Literally, he says that. He pushes her back to Lucas and says, put her back on her leash. Your Majesty, I don't think that I'm the kind of escort they were talking about.
Ken will clarify what she meant and try not to laugh.
And Ferran will go, oh, I'm sorry. But if His Majesty wishes it, I would escort them to the archives, yes, of course, and help out deeply. Like what? And Ferran will nod heartily.
But Pearl is already spring. So she could show them to the archives and back.
I'm not a part of the Spring Court. I didn't want to assume anything. She looks back at Iris like...
No, Pearl is already spring.
Yeah, Pearl's pretty open about being in the spring court.
Yeah, and Iris is also spring, but Kim seems to keep not including Iris in this, so she said Pearl.
Yeah.
Oh, we can play it that way. Whatever.
And you know, you make pretty dresses for Pearl, so she has no problem showing you where something is.
She'll smile at you. Oh, thank you.
She'll kind of smile and like giggle back.
I made some new things if you want to see. Should come by.
Maybe later. I've been moving into my new apartment. I'm sure Mr. Liam is tired of me living with him.
What? Good girl. She'll look at her.
Draven from across the room just goes, shut up!
She'll like look over him and she goes, Mr. Draven, why are you teasing people? You were so nice when I first met you.
That'd be nice.
I mean, you gave me a knife. I've been taking lessons from Mr. Soren. I'm amazed he's so good with a blade. Kind of scares me a little bit.
I thought you preferred Lord Devon's blade.
Out of character, I actually thought that too.
Whoa.
I got the names wrong.
Oh man, in seconds, like
it was Draven who did that.
Second, Soren's kind of picking up on this whole blade euphemism. He's like,
Draven looks very confused.
Oh yeah, it was Draven who was doing that. Devon is not that loud. That requires him putting his voice above 2 decibels. That's not happening.
Yeah, that's my fault. I got names mixed up. There's too many D's.
Yeah.
She kind of. She's looking at Farron and she's like, "Is there part of this conversation I'm missing?"
He'll just pick her up. He'll pick her up like a puppy and just bring her over. Like, you just hold her. You stay with me now. Pet, pet, pet.
The nice gentleman is being a dirty birdie. She just looks at Pearl.
So William is going to clear his throat.
Yeah.
As though he's trying to bring the group back together a bit. He understands things are winding down, but still. And he'll say, I believe we have direction and course. Soren.
Yes.
Will you work with the Willing Renard family to see if a change of name will help to break and sever this contract?
Yes, my lord.
You understand the importance in this matter, correct?
That I do.
Until nod. The rescue mission has been brought to light. Suggests waiting no more than 3 days. Is there anything else that must be added? Monarchs, have you said your piece? They'll all nod. Honored guests, they'll nod. He'll start going down the tiers and striations in the room until he gets to fucking Trudeau, actually. He'll look at Andre, and he'll say, "Do you have anything to add, Mr. Trudeau?" He'll shake his head. Well, then I call this meeting to a close. Please feel free to speak among yourselves now. And he'll start shutting everything down. So, I'm going to end the scene there. If anybody wants, there will be an after scene that you may join.
Yeah, I can join an after scene.
Yay. But for this one, I am ending it now. So thank you players for playing, thank you watchers for watching, and this is the scene.